Sudan summoned the Ethiopian Karguli affairs over border attack by suspected Ethiopian militias that killed and wounded several Sudanese army personnel and civilians. Sudan's foreign ministry statement said the attack killed and wounded a number of officers and personnel of the armed forces and Sudanese citizens, including children. No other details were given. The attack happened while Khartoum was preparing for a meeting of a high-level joint committee on border issues. Yemen's Information Minister Muammar al-Eryani expressed his deep appreciation and thanks to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, Crown Prince, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, for the directives to virtually organize Donors Conference for Yemen 2020 on next Tuesday in partnership with the United Nations. He also stressed that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has been and is still a leading country in providing Yemen in its ordeal with unlimited generous support. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said mosques are to resume daily prayers throughout the country, even though some areas are seeing high levels of COVID-19 infections. He also said on state television that the hours of shopping malls, which had been allowed to open only until 6 p.m., will be extended, a further step in the government's plans to ease coronavirus restrictions. He stressed that social distancing and other health protocols should be observed. However, he did not say when they are due to reopen. Many of the Palestinian refugees residing in Lebanese camps consider this period to be the most difficult since their arrival to the country, as the new coronavirus pandemic and the United Nations Relief and Works Agency's UNRWA suspension of aid exacerbated their hardships. In a statement, UNRWA said that the distribution of aid is being suspended because benefactors are not being responsive to the reiterated calls for compliance with the schedule, which was organized according to alphabetical order and social distancing measures. Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok said that Sudan has a valuable opportunity to agree on a regime with a solid foundation, saying that achieving peace is the main challenge for his government. Speaking in a meeting with the editors-in-chief of some newspapers, Hamdok asserted that peace can be achieved by signing agreements alone, saying it must be accompanied by social reconciliations and further stressing determination to dismantle the Islamist regime. He highlighted the importance of achieving justice as part of the constitutional document governing the transitional period, stressing the need to dismantle the regime of June 30th and recovering stolen funds. Egypt called upon citizens to wear face masks in public while using private transportation and inside government offices. This comes as the country eases the partial lockdown imposed during the weekend Muslim holiday of Eid al-Fitr. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said violators who do not abide by the new measure will be fined. He also said the nationwide curfew will be imposed between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. for another 2 weeks. Lebanon's Prime Minister Hassan Diab retracted his government's previous decision to postpone building an electricity plant in the region of Salata. President Michel Aoun had asked the cabinet Friday to reconsider its decision to postpone the building of a power plant in the village of Salata on the northern coast. The plant is opposed by other political forces such as the Mustaqbal movement, the Lebanese forces, and the Progressive Socialist Party. Israeli police shot dead a disabled Palestinian near Jerusalem's Old City, who they had suspected was carrying a weapon but turned out to be unarmed. The Palestinian leadership demanded that whoever killed the man be brought before the International Criminal Court. He also said the killing is a crime that will be met with impunity unless the world stops treating Israel as a state above the law. Iran said its experts would continue nuclear development activities despite sanctions imposed earlier this week on their fellow scientists by the United States. Iran is also enriching uranium up to 4.5% in violation of the Accord's limit of 3.67%. Enriched uranium at the 3.67% level is enough for peaceful pursuits, but is far below weapons-grade levels of 90%. At the 4.5% level, it's enough to help power Iran's Bushehr reactor, the country's only nuclear power plant. Prior to the nuclear deal, Iran had reached up to 20%. Italy's health minister confirmed the country can go ahead with the plan to start allowing travel across the nation next week, even as some local governors oppose letting people from the hard-hit Lombardy region move freely. Health Minister Roberto Speranza said that data on the spread of the virus is improving and allows for the reopening among regions. The announcement came after a late-night meeting with Prime Minister and various coalition party representatives and ministers. Hassan Diab retracted his government's previous decision to postpone building an electricity plant in the region of Salata. President Michel Aoun had asked the cabinet Friday to reconsider its decision to postpone the building of a power plant in the village of Salata on the northern coast. The plant is opposed by other political forces such as the Mustaqbal movement, the Lebanese forces, and the Progressive Socialist Party. Israeli police shot dead a disabled Palestinian near Jerusalem's Old City, who they had suspected was carrying a weapon but turned out to be unarmed. The Palestinian leadership demanded that whoever killed the man be brought before the International Criminal Court. He also said the killing is a crime that will be met with impunity unless the world stops treating Israel as a state above the law. Iran said its experts would continue nuclear development activities despite sanctions imposed earlier this week on their fellow scientists by the United States. Iran is also enriching uranium up to 4.5% in violation of the Accord's limit of 3.67%. Enriched uranium at the 3.67% level is enough for peaceful pursuits, but is far below weapons-grade levels of 90%. At the 4.5% level, it's enough to help power Iran's Bushehr reactor, the country's only nuclear power plant. Prior to the nuclear deal, Iran had reached up to 20%. Italy's health minister confirmed the country can go ahead with the plan to start allowing travel across the nation next week, even as some local governors oppose letting people from the hard-hit Lombardy region move freely. Health Minister Roberto Speranza said that data on the spread of the virus is improving and allows for the reopening among regions. The announcement came after a late-night meeting with Prime Minister and various coalition party representatives and ministers. U.S. President Donald Trump praised the conduct of Secret Service officers after protests near the White House over the death of George Floyd in police custody, before suggesting his supporters should assemble for a counter-protest. In a series of tweets, Trump said that the federal officers were not only totally professional, but very cool during the melee, which he watched from inside the executive mansion. Friday night's protest came a day after Trump appeared to threaten violence against certain demonstrators, tweeting that when the looting starts, the shooting starts. The European Union urged the United States to reconsider its decision to cut ties with the World Health Organization over its handling of the coronavirus pandemic. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and the EU's top diplomat Joseph Borrell said in a statement, in the face of this global threat, now is the time for enhanced cooperation and common solutions. Actions that weaken international results must be avoided. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said foreign interference in Libya threatens stability and security in the North Africa region. During a telephone call with French President Emmanuel Macron, Sisi called to putting an end to illegal foreign interventions in Libya and the chaos caused by criminal groups and terrorist militias as necessary. Both presidents agreed that they were keen to see a political solution reached in Libya that would pave the way for a return of security and stability in the country. India announced a major relaxation of the world's biggest coronavirus lockdown from early June, except for so-called containment zones with high numbers of infections. A Home Ministry order said that places of religious worship, hotels, restaurants and shopping malls will be allowed to operate from June 8th, while educational establishments will be opened after consultations with Indian state authorities. The announcement came even after the world's second most populous country announced another record daily rise in infections, taking the total to more than 85,000 cases with almost 5,000 deaths. Lufthansa's management board has accepted a more favorable set of demands from the European Commission in exchange for approval of a $10 billion government bailout, the carrier said on Saturday, paving the way for its rescue. The agreement comes after the airline's supervisory board on Wednesday rejected an initial deal with Brussels, including conditions that were significantly more painful. Lufthansa and the rest of the airline sector have been hard hit by what is expected to be a protracted travel slump due to the coronavirus pandemic.